Hey guys, Scott Fishman here with a great guest. Someone fresh off of announcement that just came out. Fightful and other outlets have been reporting that Joe Dombrowski has re-signed with MLW or upped his existing deal. We'll talk to him right now. Joe, thank you for the time and congrats on the new deal.
Thank you very much. I'm very excited about it, and I'm excited to be here sitting with you as well.
So talk about just I mean, I know you've been with MLW about what through 2021, right after COVID, this new era, as things are just getting back and revved up and you've seen this company evolve and grow and we're seeing the broadcasting side, the production side kind of ramp up on a regular weekly show with Fusion. So talk little bit about just kind of what went into your decision and your thought process.
Well, I like you said, I've been with MLW for now coming up on 5 years, and the timing was so perfect for me to join them initially in 2021. I had long wanted an outlet to um, showcase that I can, lead a broadcast doing episodic television on a high level. And even though I had done some work for a number of large companies at that point, I really hadn't had an opportunity to be given the ball, so to speak, as the true voice or lead play-by-play or whatever verbiage you want to use with that. But MLW gave me the opportunity to, first come in and learn under, some great, very talented people that had done this on a high level for a long time, like Rich Bocchini and Matt Stryker. Um, and evolve my voice and evolve my position into what it is today. And um, it truly is one of those products that, in my opinion, um, every type of fan can draw something from an MLW broadcast that they enjoy. If you appreciate the old school, if you appreciate the new style, if you appreciate lucha libre, if you appreciate Japanese style, if you appreciate, just brawls and chaos, whatever you're into, it's such a great time to be an MLW fan. And I personally feel re-energized from MLW with this new era, and of course, our weekly show Fusion is back every Saturday night. Um, our crowds have been sold out. Killer Cross has been an exceptional champion and representation for us. We have some incredible new talents that are really, really coming into their own before our eyes, and of course, the veteran influence as well. It just feels like MLW's firing on all cylinders, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And I want to see it through to see, what heights we can grow to.
Are you able to say how long the commitment for, what it entails, or anything like that?
I mean, mostly my agreements are year to year, just for the sake that I'm in my 40s now, and I like the freedom of being able to know that things change very quickly, and not even specifically in a professional sense, but just in terms of my personal life as well. But MLW's been incredibly accommodating to making sure that I'm comfortable, and I've done everything that I want to do to make sure that they're comfortable, with my situation as well. It's a great partnership, and I think just the expectation and the trust and just the formula there, from the live events to the post production to the creative aspect to whatever it is. I think we have a really, really good thing going. But to that end, I do see myself, staying with MLW, for the long term, the way things look as of this moment, because they have been exceptional partners to me, and I hope I've been that to them. And again, I want to see this through because I see so much potential in what we can be, and I see so much greatness in what we already are. And I'm again very honored they've given me the chance to be such a big part of that, and I am just as committed to them as they're committed to me.
And I think what's important is, as you can see, even by your background, you are a student of the game, a fan of wrestling, pro wrestling history, and appreciation for it. Talk a little bit about your approach to broadcasting, maybe how that it's grown and evolved within this space now. where you've kind of pulled inspiration. You mentioned, working under certain talents in MLW, but even, do you listen to other matches of other broadcasters to kind of take their style? I mean, just talk a little bit about what goes in it, as well as the prep that's involved with a show. I mean, a lot of, when you talk to a Jim Ross or a Michael Cole or, even Excalibur, I'm sure, Tony Schiavone, they all have different ways of preparing for a show. So take us through that.
Um, Prep is very important to me. I believe that if I am not there to provide information the audience doesn't have, then there's really no reason to have me there. Anybody who has worked with me or worked around me has seen just the meticulous notes that I normally have on me, and usually comment on how nearly impossible they are to read because of the way I write. I do very much have a doctor's handwriting, which is not necessarily the greatest thing. There have been times I've tried to go back and read my writing a few months later, and I've been unable to do it.
Right.
Um, but that's par for the course when your brain works so quickly. But I'm always studying back to, okay, what was the most recent um, television episodes that aired? What were the most recent live specials we did? What's that important minutia that I need to make sure carries over? And it's also an understanding of not just the psychology of our business, but also the psychology of the competitors in the ring and why they're there and what they hope to accomplish. And all the buzz terms I've taken from people smarter than me, as far as it's not what they're doing, it's the why. Um, and I think honestly, just the way my mind works, it's impossible for me to watch a wrestling announcer and not take something from them or just immediately go into that business mode of being analytical of them. I think stylistically, there's probably elements of everybody I grew up watching in my brain somewhere, from Jim Ross to Tony Schiavone to Joey Styles to even a Gorilla Monsoon or even a Lance Russell. Like it's I think versatility is important, and I wouldn't call a Trevor Lee versus Austin Aries match in New York City or a Mystico match the same way I would call the Rock and Roll Express in rural North Carolina. And I've done both, and I love doing both. But it's just a very different approach to be able to meet the moment, and as JR would say, to have the right lyrics to the music that the performers are providing. But it's something I take very seriously, but I'm still able to have fun with. It's I've always had such a deep-rooted respect for all the guys and girls that get in the ring and do something that physically I can't do. And I've always pushed myself hard to be able to be as close as I can to meeting their level and meeting that moment. And apparently I'm doing something right because I'm still around.
You're right. I've talked to talent, but I also talked to broadcasters about how the importance of talent going up to the broadcasters and having that relationship where they'll talk to them about, their move set or their background, or they want to give you like a nugget of information. And I think, and getting feedback from other broadcasters, it's something that's not done enough. It seems. Do you find that in MLW that you have that connection and there are wrestlers that have gone up to you that really put you like know the importance of what you're doing?
I think it's definitely increased in time, and the thing to keep in mind is that a lot of times, um, some of these MLW talents, their first major television contract is with MLW, so some of them may not be in a position to truly understand that, you know, on an independent show, it very much feels like, the in-ring talent is kind of on an island unto themselves. But I think as you get to bigger and better places, and as you learn more and are around more, creatively fulfilling teams, you understand um, the true role of a referee, of a commentator, of a cameraman, of a director, of a producer, to be able to recognize we're all working together. and we all want the same thing, and that is the cleanest, most polished, best MLW product that you can possibly provide. And the goal, I think, of everyone should be, well, this next broadcast should be better than the last one. Um, and you can kind of see that light bulb start to go on, and that connective tissue begin to form. And I love those relationships where guys know that this is important to me, and I want to make sure the audience knows. But I know Joe's got this, and the independent level, again, I have great relationships there, and I've been around for a long time, so you start to see more and more of that as well. Only once or twice has a talent said, um, "Here is a card of my information I have pre-prepared for you." I'll shout out Leo Sparrow, who was the first one that ever did that for me. Very few have they said, "Here's a Google Drive link of all my information." A couple of people have done that as well. I wish more would, because it helps me exponentially. Because if I've never seen you before, I just don't want to talk about how good your wrist lock looks. I don't want to just talk about the amount of suplexes you know. I want to know why you're here. I want to know what the audience can connect with you with. And sometimes that can be a chore on the independent level, as far as, guys are scared to put themselves over. Guys are scared to let loose. They think they're going to sound cocky or something. And I'll get like, yeah, I don't know. You can mention the gold medal I won in powerlifting if you want. Like, whoa, you're burying the lead. Why would you not tell me that first? And
Right.
it can be challenging at times, but I think everybody in MLW, um, understands what I'm there for, understands I'm there to help them, and the more that rapport can be, the better I can do my job, and thusly the better the audience can understand what they're doing.
How would you kind of describe your working relationship dynamic with Tom Lawlor, with what we see on screen and what we see off screen?
There's not much difference between Tom Lawler on screen and off screen. He's hilarious. He is irreverent. He is quick-witted, and he brings so much substance to it as well. Um, he's kind of the best of both worlds, because if I want him to break down a fight, and okay, tell me what Matt Riddle's fight strategy is. Tell me, if you were in a fighting combat environment with this guy, what would you do? He's right there. And he, obviously, having done it on such a high level with UFC, and the knowledge he's been able to carry in just analyzing fights and breaking down fights is great. But he's not one of those guys who's got a stick up his rear end. He's not one of those guys who is so focused on the minutia that he's afraid to be entertaining. He's incredibly entertaining. And it's been a pleasure to develop a chemistry with him. And um, definitely, when I got there, working with him wasn't on my bingo card, as they say. He was, a main event caliber in-ring worker, and somebody who excelled at that every time they came out there. Former MLW world champion, former winner of our annual, 40-man gauntlet battle royal we call Battle Riot, former winner of our prestigious Opera Cup trophy that has 140 years of history, that we have every year, which truly showcases the workhorses of MLW. And I know that'll be coming later this year as well on Fusion. But Tom is somebody that can do it all. And whatever you need of him, he will make that spot fit like a glove for him.
You've been teasing a secret project where you're at the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Or anything you could tease about when we're going to see it? I mean, we know it's probably going to be pro wrestling related. We know that, but what can you tell us about it? Anything?
I can tell you that I have lost footage never before seen that the internet has speculated about for a number of decades. And I've been speaking to a number of people who were involved or featured in that footage, and I am hoping to drop everything in your laps this fall, September, October, thereabouts, depending. Um, I'm hoping for it to be something that gets a lot of buzz, a lot of attention. And I will say, if you're a fan around my age, it'll make you feel very nostalgic inside and give you a taste of a side of the business that maybe at that time you never thought you'd see. But hoping for September, October. I'm going to say that very, penciled in because my
Things
road
happen.
schedule isn't my road schedule's insane, and also I know I'm going to be switching host sites for my ProWrestlingLibrary.com. Um, and MLW keeps me very busy as well, but I welcome the challenge to juggle all of these plates on my hand and make this work. But when it comes, hopefully there'll be a major groundswell of intrigue.
All right. But we don't know where this is going to be found. It's just going to show up somewhere. You don't know yet. Or can you say?
ProWrestlingLibrary.com will
Okay.
be
So
where to
this
find
that's
it.
the destination. Okay.
That's my VOD DVD website. That's where all my original projects go. And if I'm a good marketer, hopefully you'll have a press release about it as well, and
Well, maybe
we
we'll
can all
retell.
share it.
Yeah, we'll probably catch up then later this year, hopefully. What when you look at your broadcasting career, is there one match that really kind of puts you like this is what I'm doing, this is what I was meant to do?
These questions are always so hard. It's like asking someone their favorite child, and they have 8,000 kids. You
Right, right.
know, um, I normally I'm so in the moment when I'm doing a broadcast, it doesn't really hit me unless it's going really, really well or really, really not well. And I've been thankful to have a lot more really well moments than the alternative in the course of my 23 years doing this. Um, but looking through history, I think you know, some of the early work I did with Johnny Gargano back in the day really sparked me creatively as not just an announcer, but a booker. And then later on, doing some work with the likes of the Koger brothers and the likes of that in Cleveland. My Ring of Honor run in 2010 was very validating and very opened my eyes to a whole new level of doing this that maybe I wasn't completely ready for at the time, but gave it hell and was able to come back a few more times over the next decade. Um, I look at somebody like a Jonathan Gresham and Alex Shelley that I worked with over the years as somebody I have a great professional chemistry with because especially somebody like Gresham who I look at his matches like a chess match and I want to stay a step ahead of him and it's so difficult. But just that challenge of such an intricate, well thought out match. And um, you see that now in MLW with guys like Austin Aries, who I know gets a lot of flack on the internet, but Aries is having an incredible run right now. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I call an Austin Aries match. I feel like I'm doing Ring of Honor 2010 again. I feel like I'm doing Aries versus Tyler Black. I feel like I'm doing Aries versus anybody. I don't know if it's the diet or what, but the guy doesn't age,
Right.
and he's doing exceptionally well. And guys like Trevor Lee, who I think I first met Trevor Lee, Andrew Everett when they were maybe in their early 20s, just on the come up, but they're better than they've ever been right now, and it shows. And our relationship with a Stardom that is building, our relationship with New Japan, our relationship with CMLL gives me the chance to work with so many different styles. And you talked earlier about a relationship with talent. A language barrier sometimes precludes me from being able to have that as smooth a repartee with someone as far as here's what I do and here's the kind of things I'm looking for. But it just makes me want to work harder to chase down that story and get that information. So, um, I live for challenges. I live for, give me something that's not just basic 6 minutes, go out and do your thing, kid. Like give me something that is involved. Give me something that is emotionally stimulating. Give me something that has a lot of moving parts to it that I can just get lost in. And there's a lot of that in MLW, and we say styles make fights, and we say we choose violence, and um, I love that MLW is very much sports based, sports presentation. I love that these aren't performers, they're fighters. I love that this is not sports entertainment. This is, hybrid wrestling. Stuff like that really gets me going. Let me feel my red blood cells just circulating throughout me and let me loose.
Well, fans can, let their red blood cells out when they watch MLW Fusion weekly, YouTube 6:05 p.m. We love that time slot as fans in that age group, as you were talking about on YouTube. But if you're a little, not more of a night owl on a Saturday night, you got Veeps at 9 p.m., beIN Sports at 10 p.m., and then even on New Japan World, if you're, Japan Standard Time at 12 p.m. Joe, thank you so much for the time and the insight. Congrats on continuing on with MLW as the voice of MLW. We definitely look forward to seeing what's to come, not only from yourself, but for the company as it continues its momentum.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the platform, and I'm just as excited as you are. And from some of what I've already seen, stay tuned because the best is yet to come.
Awesome. Thank you so much.